All right, homework, lesson 3-3. There you go. As always, feel free to shout out your questions, put them in the chat, or raise your hands. Like I mentioned, I did change these to mixed numbers because I thought they would be easier to compare to figure out my answer to number 5, right? I could automatically get rid of 1 and 4 because their whole numbers are 3 and 4, and these two both had 5s as their whole numbers. And then I just had to compare my 1/3 and my 2/5 and see what was bigger. Any questions on this page? All right, let's take a look at the back side of it. Get my little clip out so it doesn't fold over on itself. You might have a different answer for stretch your thinking. There were all kinds of things you could have done. You could have had 18 over 8 times 1, or 1/8 times 18. 2 over 8 times 9, or 9 over 8 times 2. Okay. As long as when you multiply it out, you get to an answer of 18/8.
Miss Triplett,
Yes.
how did you get 85ths to equal 16?
Tell me which number you're on.
13.
13. So 85ths. So that's the same as 5 goes into 80, right? The bottom number goes into the top number. 5 goes into 8 one time. 1 times 5 is 5. Subtract, I have 3 left. Have to bring down my 0. 5 goes into 30 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract, I have nothing left. So 16.
Oh, I forgot we were searching for the top number, not the bottom.
Okay.
So I ruined all of these.
Oh, that's okay. Did you at least get the improper fraction part correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's awesome. Are there other questions?
Miss Triplett,
Yes.
on number 17, I got 38/4.
38/4. Okay, so 16 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry my 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4.
I see where I messed up.
Okay. Any other questions on this page? I love the questions. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to our student activity books then. We are continuing with multiplying fractions, but now we're also going to talk more about multiplying a fraction times a fraction instead of what we've been doing, having that fraction times a whole number. We are going to look at how to do it by using models first, and it's important for you to understand the models, okay? So make sure you're asking questions as we go through these samples. All right, so Miguel explains how to use fraction bars to find 2/3 times 4/5. I should have you read this, Miguel. He says, first I circled 4/5 on the fifths fraction bar. So do you see how they took this fraction bar and they divided it into fifths? And he circled 4 of those fifths. So this right here models 4 fifths. To find 2/3 of means multiply, 4 fifths, I can circle 2/3 of each fifth. So they took each one of these fifths and broke them into thirds. First, I have to split each fifth into 3 parts. So see, they did 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. They took each one of those fifths and split them into 3 parts. After they did that, they now have 15 total pieces in their bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This fifth bar has now become a 15th bar. So now it's easy to circle 2/3 of each of the 4 fifths. So I'm going back to my thirds and I'm going to circle 2 and 2 and 2 and 2, only inside of those 4 fifths that I had already circled. Okay, so we did our fifths and we circled 4 of them. We took each fifth and divided it into 3 parts because 3 is our other denominator. And then we circled 2 of each of those thirds within the fifths. So each group I circled has 2 15ths, right? 2 15ths, because we look at the whole thing, it's 15ths. So I circled 4 groups of 2 15ths, and that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 15ths circled. So 2/3 times 4 fifths is 8 15ths. Okay. Now I know that just looking at it and listening to it that way can be a little confusing. For me, it helps when I can actually do the work, because then I can try it and make sure I'm understanding it. So let's take a look at this one right here. It says use the 6th bar below to model 3/4 times 5 6. So since they've given me a 6th bar, the first thing I want to do is circle 5 of those 6. So I'm going to circle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that's going to show me my 5 6. Do we see that? Okay. So after I do that, then I have to look at my other fraction. My other fraction is 3/4. And since 4 is the denominator, I need to take each one of these sections and divide it into 4 pieces. So I'm going to divide this one into 4, and this one into 4, and this one into 4. You guys see how I'm dividing each one of those 6 into 4s? And that one into 4. How many total pieces do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Did you guys get 24?
Yeah. Yes.
So that's going to be my denominator. That's going to be my denominator. But I need to finish out this 3/4 by circling 3 of my 4ths within each of those 6 that I circled. So 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, and 3/4. This number is going to give me my numerator now. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15 of the 24ths circled. And they're kind of the double circled ones, right? They're the ones that were circled by my 5 6 and the ones that were circled by my 3/4.
Miss Triplet,
Yes.
how did you get 15?
Because so I have it's the ones that I circled in black here for my 3/4. I circled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Okay.
Okay, they're those ones that were double circled. Okay, I'm going to talk my way through number 2. If you think you've got it, go ahead and work ahead and just check your work with me as you're doing it. So for number 2, we're using a 7ths bar. So that means I'm going to start with this fraction right here, my 4/7, and I need to circle 4 of those 7ths that they gave me. 3 and 4, 4/7. Okay, so I'm finished with the 4/7. Next, I look at my denominator, which is a 3. So I need to take each one of these 7ths and divide it into how many pieces?
3.
3.
3.
Each 7th is going to be divided into 3 pieces. All the way to the end, whether it was circled or not. Each one of my 7ths is divided into 3 pieces. So how many total pieces do I have now?
15.
How many do I
21.
have? 21. Yes. Look at this. What's 7 times 3?
21.
21, right? What's 4 times 6? 24, right? What's 3 times 5? 15. So what I've done is I've shown you how when we multiply our denominators, how it looks on the bar graph. We took each one of those 7ths and we divided it into 3 pieces each. So 3 times 7 gives me a total of 21. Now I need to figure out my numerator though. So for my numerator, I had 2/3. So I need to come back and I need to grab 2 from each one of these. 2, 2, 2, and 2. How many did I just circle?
8. 8.
Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 over 21. What's 2 times 4?
8.
What's 3 times 5?
15.
15. What's 4 times 2?
8.
8. So this is just the same as what we've been doing. Remember I told you guys, multiply numerators, multiply denominators. We're just showing you how it would look on a number line. Okay? So if you end up with some work to do in Think Central and they're having you use this fraction bar to model it, make sure you come back to page 75 in your student activity book to help you out with how to draw that model, okay? This is one type of model, the fraction bar model. Guess what? There's another model I'm going to show you now. Yay! The other model is an area model. An area model is a cube. It's a rectangle. I'm sorry, a square. So Jessie knows that the area of a rectangle is its length times its width. You guys know that, right? You multiply one side times the other to get the area.
Yeah, basic.
Okay.
Second grade.
So she explains how to use this idea to model 2/3 times 4/5. So she said, I need to draw a rectangle with side lengths 2/3 and 4/5. So she started with the 4/5. I don't like the colors they chose here because it's really hard to see these lines in here. With that blue and the black, they really kind of blend together. But going vertical like this, they took and they divided it into 5 sections and they shaded in 4 of them. That's their 4/5. You guys see that?
Mrs.
Yes.
Triplet,
Yes.
you, for me, you kind of lagged a little bit, and then I couldn't hear you.
Okay.
What did you
So
say?
we've taken our square here, and along the top side, we've divided it into 5 sections, and we've colored in 4 of those because that represents our 4/5. Okay.
okay.
And then on the other side, I'm going to draw these lines in again. So the blue is still our 4/5, but then our other fraction is 2/3. So then on the other side of the square, we divided it into 3 sections, and we colored in 2 of them with red. So this side is our 2/3. Okay? So the overlapping part gives us a rectangle with the side lengths of 2/3 and 4/5 unit. So its area is 2/3 times 4/5. That's this section right here is our 2/3 times 4/5. And to find that area, Jesse noticed the following. There are 3 times 5 or 15 identical small rectangles. So in this whole shape, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 small rectangles, or 3 times 5, our denominators. Each one of those small rectangles represents 1/15 of the figure. And there are 2 times 4, or 8 of these unit fraction rectangles inside our smaller rectangles. So there's 2 times 4, or there's 8 that are colored by both red and blue. The overlapping section has 8 rectangles in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's our numerator. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay? Let's practice one, because again, looking at someone else's drawing is one thing, but doing it on our own is sometimes a little bit easier. So I'm going to take my first fraction, my 1/2, and I'm going to represent that on the top. So I'm going to divide from top to bottom into 2 sections, right? 1/2 is 2 sections. And I'm going to color in one of those sections. Do you agree that that represents 1/2 of that rectangle?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. I'm glad we agree. Now coming horizontally on the other side, I have to divide it into 8 sections. So let's see, I'm going to divide it in half. And I'm going to divide that half and half, and that one, and that one. That gives me 4. Half, half, half. I now have 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. But I need to color in 3 of those 8s. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay. And now to use this drawing to figure out what our answer is, how many sections are colored in both pink and blue?
3.
3, right? 1, 2, 3. There's 3 that have both pink and blue. How many total rectangles are in this figure?
16.
There are 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 pieces. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 8 is 16. Let's look at our next one. And again, if you think you're understanding it, you can go ahead and draw your pictures and then just compare them with mine. My first fraction is 3/4. So the first thing I want to do is vertically, I'm going to divide it into 4 sections. And then how many of those 4 sections am I going to color in?
3.
3. I'm coloring in 3 of them because it's 3/4. My next fraction is 2/3. So I need to divide it horizontally into 3 sections. How many of those 3 am I going to color in?
2.
2, yes. So now we look at it to find our answer. How many rectangles have both pink and blue?
6.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 in that overlap section. And how many total rectangles are there?
12.
12.
12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Mrs. Stricklet,
Yes.
on the where you asked us how much pink and blue rectangles there are, what do you mean by like the answer? Like that's how much are like colored in?
So how many have both pink and blue within the same rectangle? So like see how this one pink and blue? You want the ones that are overlapped with both colors.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so those 6 have both pink and blue in them. These right here don't count because they don't have both colors. We only want the ones that are overlapped with both colors. Great question. All right, go ahead and try and do number 5 on your own. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna talk while I do it, but you see if you can do it. All right, so I divided it vertically into 6 sections, and I colored in 5 of those. I divided it horizontally into 3 sections, and I colored in 1 of those. And then my overlap, I have 5 rectangles that have both pink and blue in them. So that's my numerator. And I have a total of 18 rectangles in my whole figure. Okay. Woo! So those first 2 pages are the tough pages of the lesson. We're going to keep going, but the next 2 pages get so much easier. Unless you're the kind of person who likes drawing the pictures. But the next 2 pages get so much easier because it's going to shortcut. Okay. So what were we just doing on all of those on the other side? We were multiplying our numerators. And we were multiplying our denominators, right? That's all we were doing. We were drawing pretty pictures to go with them. But the main math that we were doing to solve that was just multiplying numerators, multiplying denominators, okay? Remember, if we said we have a whole number, we just put it over 1, and that changes it to a fraction. So if I'm multiplying my numerators, 6 times 1 is?
6.
6. 7 times 1 is?
7.
7. 6 sevenths is your answer. And look at this. You do not need to simplify your answer. That's the best part of this whole thing. Let's do number 7. Let's just do the evens. I'm going to put my 9 over 1. Always, I'm going to put my whole number over 1. 9 times 2 is?
18.
18.
3 times 1 is?
3.
3.
3. Awesome. Look at number 10, right? I said I'm just doing evens. It doesn't even have a whole number. Multiply my numerators. 1 times 1?
2.
1.
1.
9 times 2?
18.
Perfect. Let's see. Doing my next even. Number 12. 2 times 1 is?
2.
2.
2.
5 times 3?
15.
15.
All right. Multiplying our numerators, multiplying our denominators. 3 times 1 is?
3.
3.
7 times 3 is?
21.
Is it super simple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really
Just
easy.
do evens. Just do evens and finish out the page. Just do evens, finish out this page. You can go without me. You know what makes this even easier? Knowing your multiplication facts. You know what you're going to do when you come back to class with me? Multiplication.
Multiplication test.
Yay, multiplication.
And division.
Yay.
When you're finished, check your work with mine. How'd we do? Any questions on these? Multiplier numerators, multiplier denominators. It is that easy. Multiplication with fractions is so much easier than addition and subtraction with fractions. Are we good with these? Did we get it done?
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
So finished or not, totally cool, not a problem. Let's look at the back side of this page because we're still going to multiply fractions, but now we have word problems. Dun, dun, dun. And you must read the directions because look at this. Represent the problem with an equation. You need to write your equation, and equations need to have variables. Okay? So when you're solving these, you need to write the equation, then solve it. So let's flip. Of the 304 people who attended the school play, 5/8 were students. How many of the people who attended were students? Well, we're practicing multiplication right now, right? So this is going to be a multiplication problem. We need to figure out what 5/8 of 304 is. Equals S for students. There's our problem. That's it. 304 times 5/8. That's a big, ugly problem, isn't it? Let's see. 304 times 5, right? I'm multiplying my numerators. 1520 over 8. Why did they give us this big of a problem? It's really kind of ridiculous. And then 1520 divided by 8. 2, 9, 0, 0. There's 190 students. I'm okay if you just kind of copy my work on that one because that one was really big and ugly.
Oh my.
Let's look at the next one. 1 lap around the track is a quarter mile. Abby ran around the track 13 times. How far did she run? So we need to find out what 1/4 of 13 is. Okay, 1/4 of 13. So 13 times 1/4 equals, we'll say D for distance. I probably could have done miles. Okay. How far did she run, my friends?
1 and 1/4.
13 and 1/4. 13 and 13 fourths.
13/4, yeah. If I wanted to make that prettier, 4 goes into 13 3 times with 1 left over. 3 and 1/4 miles. Okay, look, we're just multiplying, right? That's all we're doing is multiplying. Cam is filling his bathtub. The tub holds 32 gallons of water. It is now 4/7 full. How many gallons of water are in the tub? We need to figure out what 4/7 of 32 is. That equals how many gallons? 4/7 of 32. Another not so pretty one, I would have to say. I'm going to give that 128 over 7, right? 32 times 4, 128. And let's see, 7 goes into 128 one time. What is that? 5 times left. Bring down my 8. 7 goes into 58. 6, 7, 8 times. 2 left, 2 7s. 18 and 2 7 gallons. Another ugly one. I think the next one's much nicer. This one doesn't even show you the numbers though, but let's see, 1/3. So 1/3 of the campers at a summer camp signed up for arts and crafts class. Of these campers, 1/5 signed up for woodworking. What fraction of the campers signed up for woodworking? So 1/3, we have to figure out what 1/5 of 1/3 is. Equals W for woodworking campers. I should put two variables, WC. What's 1/3 times 1/5?
1/15.
115.
1/15 of the campers. Okay, really, I'm okay if you guys are more just watching right now instead of doing. I just want you to see the problems, listen to the problems, and see how to solve them with multiplying. Here we go. 2/3 of the students in the orchestra play string instruments. Half. What fraction shows us half?
1/2.
One
So
over
one over
two.
what?
One over
1 out of
over
2.
Half of the students who play string instruments play violins. What fraction of all the students in the orchestra play violins? So we have to figure out what half of 2/3 is. Half of 2/3 equals S for students. What's 1/2 of 2/3?
2/6.
2/6.
1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 2/6 students. Yes, yes, I love it. Ms. Hernandez knitted a scarf for her grandson. The scarf is 5/6 yard long and 2/9 yard wide. What is the area, right? Area, length times width. 5/6 times 2/9 equals, we'll say S for scarf. Multiply my numerators. What's 5 times 2?
15, 54th.
What's 5 times 2?
10.
Oh, wait, 10. Miscounted.
54.
54, yes. 10/54 yards. Okay. Actually, it's yards squared, right? Because it's area. It's square yards. Okay. Kind of rush through those word problems, but I wanted to be able to see the homework a little bit too. All right. Just a second here. All right, let's take a look at the homework. Homework is lesson 3, 4. And we have a couple of number or fraction lines to start off with. And they're showing us that she's finding 3/4 times 2/5, and this is her work so far. So the first part is just for you to, I'm not sure what that means, Camden. This first part just wants you to explain how this works to somebody at home. So explain to a parent or a sibling or an aunt or an uncle or your dog or your fish. It doesn't matter. Explain how you use these fraction bars to solve fraction multiplication. Then they want you to finish out her work and find the answers, okay? Down at number 3, you are using this number line to solve 2/3 times 5/6. We've got a couple word problems and then just some straight multiplying at the bottom, okay? Let's take a look at the back. On the back, I'm going to make it a little bit easier on you guys. I'm going to say just do the evens. Evens only, just on the back side. Just on the back. On the front, I want you to do all of them, okay? The back is evens only. So when you have your fancy-mancy-dancy planners out, let's write this down in them. So we remember we only have to do the evens on the back side.